You are now listening to Belligerent State of Mind.
Very intelligent brother, man.
Without a doubt. Oh, speaking of
That's
intelligent
fire, Prince.
brothers, man. Intelligent brothers.
Intelligent
We got to get
brothers.
into this shit
Mm.
here, man.
Let's get it.
Oh,
Let's
my
get that
God.
talk
This
on.
has been the fucking talk of the week. This shit has been oh my God. Yo, shout out to fucking Kwame Brown right off the bat.
Yes.
Right
man.
off the fucking
My
bat,
man,
yo.
my fucking
God.
hero, yo. My new
Yo,
hero.
salute.
Kwame Brown for
Salute.
president.
You know what I'm saying? All right, listen. I'm gonna give a
Absolutely.
little bit of backstory. So Kwame Brown was a former NBA player, right? He was drafted number 1. He was a number 1 draft pick. He was the very first player straight out of high school to get drafted number 1 in the NBA. Very
drafted
first
by
drafted by Michael Jordan.
Michael
In the-
Jordan.
Yes.
Mhm.
In the
That's
Western
Remember-
important. That's important.
That's very
That's
important.
important.
Very
Very
important.
important.
Very
Yep.
important.
Very important.
We gonna get
Now,
to that.
mind you, people are gonna say, all right, we know Moses Malone was the
Right.
first,
Mhm.
but he wasn't number 1.
Nope.
Kobe Bryant,
Mm-hmm.
another
Number 13.
famous one, but he was not number.
Nope.
Kevin Garnett.
Mm-mm.
We're gonna a lot of them
Number 5.
came, but they
Yep.
were not number 1.
He was number 1, the number 1 pick. So now the thing is, when you're drafted number 1, that does come with a lot. Yo, even the number 2 doesn't have as much pressure as the number 1, and they like right behind each
Absolutely.
other and shit. It's crazy. It's just
Absolutely.
kind of the stigma. Jordan wasn't even number 1. It's crazy, man. Like you think about that draft. Sam Bowie had more pressure than fucking Michael Jordan coming in because he was number 1.
But I don't hear
yo.
nobody talk about Sam Bowie.
So unfortunately, this guy Kwame Brown, he came in, like I said, straight out of high school. He's 18 years old. 18 years old. The way the media has painted this guy for the last 20 years is that he's just this big dummy. That's just the way it's been. He's a big dummy. He's slow. He sucks. He's trash. He's garbage. That's the way they've been talking about this dude since he came in the fucking league. Since he's been in the league. So he's a rookie, 18-year-old kid playing with these grown-ass men. And then he got to hear the media call, oh, he's a bum. He's trash. And
He doesn't understand the
He
game.
doesn't understand the game.
He doesn't know where he needs to be.
What do you think this does to a 18-year-old? Like, can you even imagine
Grace.
like what he's going through? He's a kid. He's a fucking baby.
Oh my God.
So now the thing about this guy, which I didn't really know until all of this week is going on. Shout out to this guy, man. He was an honor student in high school, which we didn't know. He was mad smart. He was an honor student. So he had a full scholarship to go to Florida. He had a full scholarship, but he had an option to go to the NBA, be number 1 draft pick, and he wanted to help his mother. He wanted to help his mother, man. So he chose to go that route and to get drafted and go into the NBA to help his moms. That's all he wanted to do. He said, he told his mother when she was fucking 6 years old, he told his mother, one day I'm going to buy you a house. And that's the first fucking thing he did when he got his money. He bought his mother a house at 18 years old. While these other motherfuckers out there buying gold chains and cars, and he bought his mother a house right off the bat, yo. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for that, man. Like I said, that's all this guy's been hearing. Unfortunately, his career, his statistics wasn't what people expected it to be. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all can get into that as far as the reasons for all of that. I mean, one of the things is y'all can get more into it, Prez, as far as being, like I said, he was drafted by Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the GM of the Wizards at the time. And then
Prez, you got to give him context, Prez.
Yeah, he was president. And then I think he ended up going to play for the team. But, man, you know how that go, man.
Well, I mean, like you made up a good point. Like he went number 1, right? First of all, like Seth said, Sam Bowie went number 1, but you know what I mean? I don't remember hearing anybody rag on Sam Bowie the way they ragged on this kid. You know what I mean? It is one thing. I know times was different. It was like probably a good, maybe
that was 84.
15 year, was that 20-year gap between the two? But still, regardless, the media was still the media back then, and they didn't actually make those type of comments. This kid had no type of control on where he goes in the draft, right? He was highly a high-touted prospect or whatever the case is, but it's not like he set out to be number 1. He got picked number 1, and who wouldn't want to be number 1, right? But
number 1 overall.
Number 1 overall. But with that comes a great responsibility, and at the same time, you have to understand that he is learning the game as he goes. Like he's learning it on the fly. Who was there anybody there to take him under the wing to be like, hey, look, this is what you need to do. First of all, as a new NBA player, you know, not even from on the court, just off the court. Like this is what you should be doing, you know what I'm saying, to try to make sure that you get your money together and don't spend it all here and over there, whatever. And he brings that up also. He says that now. He was like, there needs to be some kind of I guess schooling and like teaching for a lot of these NBA players when they coming into the league, you know, so that they don't, you know, blow their bread or whatever. But as far as on the court is concerned, yeah, he probably didn't know the things he's supposed to know because he's brand new. He's a rookie.
He was coming out of high school. He didn't even go to college. It wasn't even like he's coming out of high school.
He was one of the He was almost one of the last ones to come straight out of high school, right?
Well, LeBron did it 2 years later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was a child, you know.
He's a fucking baby. He's a baby.
Literally a child. Yeah. And like we said, Michael Jordan, he drafted him, and that whole situation on that team was kind of crazy to begin with, right? You had Stackhouse on the team. He was pretty much the man still. He's probably on his way out or whatever. Gilbert Arenas was making his way. You know, he started to become more of a star in the league or whatever. And then you got Kwame Brown, who going number one, you already got dudes coming at you. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Jealous of the fact that you was number one.
Of course.
So that whole locker room, that whole team was probably super toxic and shit. You know what I mean?
I said, and back then it wasn't no real salary cap for the rookies, so you might make it more than a lot of the veterans and shit coming right out the gate. Yeah,
right.
And not to mention, like you said, the way the media perceived it as, because they don't know how things work. Jordan drafted him, so that Jordan name was carrying him on, or that Jordan name carried weight. And they said, you know what? If Jordan drafted him, that means Jordan thought with his NBA background that Kwame Brown is going to be that type of person. So that all that pressure, you know, to be like Mike, pretty much, that's, you know, what made it worse.
And as the years went on, you know, it didn't get any better. Like I think he started getting, you know, hounded from day one. And then the other thing is you got to look at the other people that was drafted in his class, right? All these other players that were like excelling, that were doing great on their teams. You know, you had Tyson Chandler, you had Eddie Curry, you know what I mean? You had Jason Richardson, Joe Johnson. You know, those are like the top 10. Even if you go down to the 28th pick, guess who this motherfucker is?
Who's that? Who's that 28?
Tony Parker.
Wow.
I
feel like Tony Parker came in and started right off the bat. I feel like he was a fucking starter and shit.
Right.
Tony fucking Parker.
Kwame Brown was over. They had him coming off the bench. They had him coming off the fucking bench. Number one pick.
Yep.
Wow.
So all these players are excelling, you know, and they doing great, and then they just automatically going to be like, damn, but what happened to Kwame Brown?
Right.
Why isn't he living up to the hype and all this and all that? So and you know, they label him a scrub and all that, but I guarantee you, man, if I'm labeled a scrub, but I can make 12 years out of an NBA fucking career, I'll take that title as being a scrub.
How about this? I'll take the 12 years too, but I'll take the 65 mil too.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, it did. Make 65 million over his career. Yeah, he's like, how can I be a fucking bum and all of this shit? I made 65 million and I was on the team every year. Somebody wanted me. How much of a bum could he really be?
Somebody wanted him. He was traded, you know, I think three times, maybe four times in his career. He had a long contract with, you know, the Wizards, obviously, his rookie contract, but he spent 3 years with LA. You know, he did a year in Memphis, another 2 years in Detroit. People were actually signing this dude to a contract to play. So I don't know, man. It's just like the whole way the shit went down, where he was just minding his business for the last 20 years.
Man. We ain't heard a peep out of this dude in 20 years, man.
He was just living his life, raising his family, you know, riding his tractor trailer and shit. And over the years, you know, he heard the jokes and all that. And and then unfortunately for Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, Captain Jack.
Becky with the good hair.
Becky with the good hair.
Oh, but I don't understand, what is the deal, Prez? They know if you Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, don't you know that you sounded like you were throwing shade?
Of course they was throwing
shade.
You already know they was.
Intention. Exactly.
They was.
All intentions. All disrespect.
But what was the whole point? Like, what was the fucking point of them even like, one man trade?
Because it's been going on for years.
They've been talking about this man for years, right?
For years. Yeah. Not just them, but just in general.
Fucking Stephen A. Smith, all of these motherfuckers, man.
So they just joined the bandwagon, bro. They just like, it's been going on for so many years. So what's going to be any different now?
It's really fucked up though. As former players, man, it's supposed to be a fraternity, it's supposed to be a brotherhood, man. They like that. They was totally out of pocket. Totally out of pocket, man.
Oh yeah,
really.
Yeah.
I think, and the one that I caught the worst was when, you know, in Gilbert Arenas telling the story, and then he goes like this. He said, "Yeah, we would just talk about that. He's the greatest draft pick of all time." What? Like I just was like, "Whoa!"
That was
Steven
Jackson. That was Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
That was Steven Jackson. Yeah.
But
nobody, Matt Barnes and shit. Like
nobody talks about Adam Morrison though.
No, of course not. And he didn't. Go ahead. Who else?
No. Oh, how about a number one draft? Nobody talk about Greg Oden.
No.
Do you know who Anthony Bennett was?
Oh my God, I forgot about that fucking.
Thank you, but nobody talks about these guys. That's what's so funny. Kwame Brown, I remember him.
Yeah.
And I remember Mike got in his ass. That's Michael Jordan, my G, on the 18-year-old.
18-year-old. And then shit, which I didn't even realize until Kwame Brown brought it up. Michael Jordan, you know, he came in the team. He brought Patrick Ewing and he brought fucking Charles Oakley into the team. You already know how they was treating this kid, yo. You already fucking know. Like, this kid didn't have a chance. He didn't have a fucking chance, man. He said
they shitted on him pretty much.
Yeah, he didn't have a chance, man. Right out the gate, man.
So D, now he's getting in their ass.
Man, he getting in their ass, man. That's what I appreciate about it. Because I hate fucking bullies, man. I hate bullies, man. Stephen A. Smith is a fucking bully. Charlamagne the God is a fucking bully.
Facts.
The way this Up in Smoke, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, they acting like fucking bullies. They always talking about fighting all the time, all the fucking show. They always talking about fighting somebody and all this shit, how tough they are. I listen to All the Smoke. That's all they be talking about is fucking fighting somebody and shit.
I mean, Steven Jackson may be about that life, but you ain't got to bring it up all the time.
I mean, come on, but no, and the public has seen him run into the stands.
Yeah, I've seen him run into the stands, of course.
To beat up drunk white boys, right? I mean,
shout out to Jermaine O'Neal.
You know what I mean?
South Carolina.
But listen, my thing too, man, about all of this shit, which is, I mean, we're gonna get more into it, but all these motherfuckers had to do after he's called them out was apologize. That's all they had to do was apologize. That's it. All of this shit would have been fucking done. Oh, you know what, Kwame? My bad. But they gotta still play the fucking tough guy. Matt Barnes beat up fucking the Derek Fisher and shit. Steven Jackson beat up the drunk white dude. So they gotta continue that persona. They these tough guys. And not all they had to do was apologize. All they had to do.
Yeah, and not to mention Steven Jackson. I pulled up in Atlanta. So where you at?
So and the thing that drives me crazy about that shit is like this dude is Muslim, right?
Who, Steven Jackson?
Yeah, he's supposed to be a Muslim, right? I don't know. I'm not sure, but he poses as, you know, in the garb, and he always posting all the Muslim sayings and whatnot. So in my mind, I'm like, this is not how a Muslim is supposed to act. Not. You know what I mean? If you're going to be a street dude, be a street dude. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be a businessman, be a businessman. If you're going to be a Muslim, you know, you adhere to the Muslim faith, and, you know.
If you're a 5%er with the gods and earths.
But don't try to be all three, all four.
Come on,
you know what I'm saying? That shit ain't gonna work. Find whatever it is that you believe in and stick to that shit, bro. Because that shit just don't make no sense to me.
It don't. And like I said, they started with this guy minding his business. Or they all started with him. And then so down they said what they said on their podcast, said what they said about him. So then the next day, Breakfast Club had the rumor report. Angela Yee, she talks about the situation. And here goes Charlemagne. And shit. Now he was completely out of pocket. Now, which I realized that all the smoke is on Charlemagne's podcast network.
Yep.
Y'all doing that, right? So that's his
Effect
people.
Network.
Yeah, so that's his people. So I don't know. He trying to pretend to me. He's trying to pretend like he was defending Kwame Brown, but he was going at him,
stirring up
by bringing up his family's history, bringing up how his father, his father did some things with the jail. His brothers did some things with the jail. Like, they had nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with anything. Like, completely uncalled for. And Kwame Brown called him out. He called him out for the shit. He called him out, and he brought up Charlemagne's past. You want to bring up my past? Now I'm gonna bring up your past and shit.
That's right.
Yep. And now that's a whole fucking thing going on right now.
Yep. Because once he did that, then Charlemagne sent him a cease and desist letter. And the way that played out was he sent it to an old lawyer that he used to use back in the day that he doesn't even get in contact with anymore. And then that's how he found out about that cease and desist letter. And see, Charlemagne he called him a rapist because of his charge that he caught.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he said, you know what? We're going to change that. You know what? I'm not going to call you the R word anymore just because he got the cease and desist letter about him calling him a rapist. So what did he call him, D? He called him a...
What's the fucking word? What is whatever he pled to, because he pled
delinquency
of a minor.
Delinquency of a minor has.
Yeah, that's what he pled to. Yeah.
And he shouted out Stephen A. Smith about him getting his coach fired.
Back when he was in college and shit, right?
In college.
Yeah. But Stephen A. Smith been throwing fucking shit. He been talking. I mean, he talks about everybody. I'm not even gonna sit there and pretend like he doesn't talk about everybody. He talks about everybody. That's just what he does. That's just what he does and shit. But they've been getting on Kwame Brown hard, all of these fucking years, man. And I'm just happy to see him just get back at everybody. Just getting back at them. You know what I'm saying?
Like, he kept quiet for all these years.
Yeah. He put up with that shit for all these fucking years, man. So
he got on Jamel Hill.
What was that about? I never looked at.
She made a comment that was early. That was like the next day. I think she was playing off of the whole Charlemagne thing about him being violent or whatever. She said, "Oh, he looked violent. He seems like he's real angry or something like that." About him seeming angry and shit.
I'm surprised she would say something like that.
They all work for the same fucking network. Yo.
But she seems to be a lot more level-headed.
She kind of backed down. I haven't heard anything else from her since then and shit. After he started calling these people out, they started dropping off like flies, man. They started dropping off. They started calling them out, man. So I mean, it just is what it is, yo.
Sorry. Roy Hibbert. Roy Hibbert caught it. Angela Yee caught it. DJ Envy caught it. A lot of people, I'm telling you, is the true saying. You shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house.
100%.
That's indeed.
So Becky with the good hair and Steven Smack is catching it.
But all they had to do was apologize, though, man. They still didn't apologize to him.
Only one apologized.
Now Charlemagne apologized, right, on the Breakfast Club. Now I was like, now listen to his apology. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. I mean, because I was like, he apologized. It is what it is, man. He manned up. He apologized. What Kwame Brown say and shit.
He was like, on behalf of my family, on behalf of everyone, he said, first of all, the little girl that you took advantage of, you the one that need to owe her an apology first. And on behalf of my family, my father, everybody you spoke of, my sister that I don't even hang out with like that, fuck your apology.
So he not having it. He didn't accept his fucking apology because he was completely out of pocket, bringing up his father's past and shit. Like he said, his son didn't even know about that stuff. His son didn't know about it. Son. Yeah, he didn't even know about that. I was completely off key. So I don't know, man. Everything is
some of the mama's cooking that he got from his mom's was protecting him and not giving him the information about his family's history.
Yep.
So Kwame, when this all popped off, had 30,000 subscribers. He's now well over 230,000. So he's only growing. He's using his platform for positivity. He's talking about everybody that's using this platform, using his video. They know they're getting monetized off of it. So, use the proceeds to do right in the community. Kwame Brown is always talking about, giving away shoes to kids, because when he was a size 13 at the age of 15, they couldn't get no shoes for him. He wished, so he's doing that for kids now. You always see him talk about something in the community, talking about land. It's so funny. He calls Becky apartment dudes. Like, those y'all look like apartment dudes.
He's like, I got acres, yo.
And shout out to the truth. But when he said, it's real also, he said, I could have 15 girls on my IG right now, butt ass naked, and not a damn thing happened to me. You do that on your IG and see what happens. You know what I mean? So, a lot of truth he's just telling. He's stayed quiet for 20 years and he let loose. It's Kwame Brown's Bus Life, YouTube.
Yep, that's what's up. So shout out to Kwame Brown, man. Y'all should check him out. And I'm saying, see what, because like I said, all this is still going on. This is all still pending. We in the middle, because like I said, Steven Jackson and Bad Boy still ain't apologized. So that's the opinion.
But they know they throwing shade. Just tell them, man, yo, come on, man.
They had to say, all they had to do was say sorry for the
day. Yeah, we followed the wave. We followed the hate train. By the way, isn't it a bigger story how the NBA is paying Stephen A. Jackson to go around to these college campuses and keep these kids in school? Listen, isn't that crazy? That's an NBA thing. That's like that's a whole nother thing. He got into a whole nother thing about how they try to get these, trying to stop the kids from coming out of high school. That's why they disparage his name. That's a whole. He said, you didn't tell those kids that they could make $12 million, right? You didn't tell them that. You didn't tell them that I bought my mama a house, right? You didn't tell them that. Yeah. I think there was a whole conspiracy behind it, right?
It is, man. But anyway, that's what's up, man. Shout out to Kwame Brown, man. It's like Raman Reset said, check him out. Kwame Brown Bus Life on YouTube. On YouTube, man. Check him out. He dropping some real shit, man. We follow him, man. I got the notification thing when he go live. Like, Kwame Brown's live, yo. What the fuck you talking about now in this tractor and shit? Boy.
Let me spread some of this mama's cooking.
Mama's cooking.
Man. You must have not been brought up right. I don't know who raised you. You too busy running them groups.